today. This technique, and I played around with like creating it and a couple of tests on it, but this is kind of what I came up with, is this how to create this. This was my first one, and it was, I didn't even catch the threads in some of it. Well, let's see. So I didn't even catch it here. So just, learning how to work with yarn. Um, so I went through a couple of renditions. That was one. And then I did this one where I was taping the ends down. It did better. Um, I I really tried not to use any kind of adhesives because it gums up the needles, and I don't like getting gooey gummy stuff on my machine usually. So, um, but you do have to manage this yarn because it just wants to go anywhere and everywhere. I mean, this one, I blinked and I lost my loop over here. This loop that's supposed to be up here. I mean, I turned my head to look away and I turned back and had already passed it. So, it's my newest one. This is the latest one. So this is the final, which I did pretty good on. I did a zigzag stitch on it because it's kind of small, so I was hoping to like tack it down a little better. I don't know, I was thinking actually of maybe doing like a decorative stitch over top of it. I think that would be kind of interesting. It doesn't have to be a fancy decorative stitch, of course, because you're just wanting to fluff the stuff, but so I did much better on catching this one. I think this one would launder better, which is, the whole thing is like, how is it going to be laundered? How's it going to be handled later? Um, so all of those things need to be considered, right? When you're making these kinds of things, because yes, it's beautiful, and yes, it's fun, and yes, it's trendy, but is it really gonna be a good idea at the end of the day? I could see doing this on maybe a jacket that doesn't get laundered very often, like a back of a denim jacket or some kind of, denim jacket or some kind of jacket, um, because it's not going to be laundered a lot, because things like this that are stick up and fuzzy and frilly, if you've ever washed anything like this, one little catch of a zipper, I mean, a button could catch this from another garment and rip it out, and then it's just damaged. Um, so really low laundered items, like I don't know if I would do this on a garment that I'm gonna wear weekly or maybe once a year. Maybe if it was like a Christmas sweater or sweatshirt, if you're trying to do some kind of ugly Christmas, maybe sweater. But to always think about how well is this going to launder and stand up later, because all of that goes towards your brand of your work you put out. What kind of product are you giving? What kind quality are you giving? If you sell something that looks beautiful when they buy it, that's great, but if they wash it once and then they can't wear it again because it's damaged, they're not going to come back to you and buy something else. um, Big bold letters everywhere on laundering and care instructions for sure. But yeah, so basically today we're gonna try to recreate this, and then I actually, because I'm not buying anything to do these videos, because if you've seen my videos on the fabric storage room, I have lots of stuff, so I don't need to buy stuff, especially just to do a how-to on some trending thing. So the yarn I have is what I've got. And who knows what I got this for project wise years ago. But this is the green that I was just playing with, and I only played with it because of the three that I have, because I have white and then a yellow. So these just still had the label on it. But I also got out this yarn, which, you know, is it actually has like a stitch running through it. So it's kind of a flat type of a yarn, which I really like. So I'm going to be trying this one. I think it'll be easier to manage than this thin stuff. This isn't even like what you see trending in the videos. It's more like this kind of stuff. It's thicker, right? See the compared between the two? This is definitely thicker than this. And so what you're seeing in all the videos is this kind of stuff. So, all right. So, how to digitize for this? Digitizing for this is it's a lot of choppy stuff because you're doing pieces and stopping and pieces and stopping. So let me switch the view then over to the computer screen so that we can break down this design and piece it together and get it ready to stitch. Talk about digitizing it. Okay. All right, so this is the design that I created here. And so the very first thing that we need to create, let me hide this. And I made my mouse pointer big and purple. Let me hide everything. Okay, so the first thing that you have to decide and create is your basic shape that you want this big chunky yarn to be in. And so I just wrote love. So it's going to end here, and then I'll start it again here and work my way around this shape. So you could do X's, you could do hearts, you could do mama, you could do any letters you want, right? So that's awesome. So the first thing I did was started my L, and it's literally this piece here. Let's see, let me change this green to something a little darker on the screen for you, maybe a orange. There you go, right there it is. So we'll hide the blue now. So this is what's going to sew first, is from here to here of the L. Then it's going to be like this and like this. So I'll show you how I did that. So basically I took a walk stitch. Let's hide everything and turn on my walk stitch. So here's my walking stitch, and I am going to chop it up. So it's just one solid flowing piece, but that's not going to work. We need it to stop for us here and there. So I'm just going to highlight it, and then what you can do is, and remember I'm working in Pro, I can come in and select where I want it to stop. And then there is a little button here which allows you to change your element type, but you can also split an element type. So see right there, it's split it. So I have one start and then the rest of my L. Select the rest of my L. Where do I want it to stop now? So I think I'm going to have it come down to about here and split that. So now it's going to sew from there to there and stop, and then the rest of my L here. So I'm going in and chopping it up at the points that I want it to stop and wait for me. And what I came up with is, okay, that's fine. I broke up that L, but you would duplicate this. Let's undo all of that to here. There's my broken up piece. Yeah, so see, I broke it right there. And then I broke it up there. And then down to here. Let's hide the blue, that's kind of confusing. Then I did my O section of the V. O and the V connected. And then the E. So I have this alternating colors here because when I get to the machine, I want it to pause after each one of these sections. So, hi, welcome. Where are you from? So I have my sections now. Got my first letter, word. Okay, I'm good. All right, so this is everything I need. So I'm going to save this. And again, I have it saved in my shared folder. So I'm, you could do this project like we were talking about on jackets or sweatshirts or really whatever you want to do it on. I'm just doing this on some stabilizer because you always want to test and practice and play on, you know, just some stabilizer because you wouldn't want to mess up a nice sweatshirt or something. So since I'm playing and practicing and I don't really have an actual job per se to do, I'm just doing some stabilizer. All right. Stabilizer is in. Let me do my morning routine. Come on. I like the other blower better. Okay, I have cleaned. We're going to oil. And if you need machine oil, I have machine oil on my website. I think there's a link down below. If not, I'll put a link down below. It's a really great bottle with a nice tip. Okay. All right. I'm going to load my design because I made some changes. I love this touchscreen. Let's see, I had it under just the base file. Chenille yarn. Yes. Loading. Just looking to see what the screen looks like. Okay. I got my love. Let's see if I can bring it closer. You can't really see it. Okay. All right, so I got my love. I can see all the pieces. I'm going to do my color setup. And the first color is just going to be a base color so that I can see where to stitch. Let's see. I'm going to use the thicker yarn, which is this like rainbow colored stuff. So I think I'm going to sew a nice dark color on here. What do I have threaded? 7? 7. Is it purple? We'll do 7. Yep, that one's good. 7. Then it's going to applique stop so that I can get my first piece of yarn down. And I'm going to sew the yarn down. There's a yellow thread in this that they use to like stitch it. So I think I'm going to pick my yellow, which is 10. And then I'm going to have it applique stop. And then yellow, applique stop, yellow, applique stop, yellow, applique stop. This is a tedious project, guys. I mean, I don't see this being like cost effective unless you really upcharge for this, because it's just runs slow. It's very finicky. Applique stop. But, you know, for a fun little gift to be great. That is blue. Why is that blue? Oh, because it needs to be yellow. There we go. Now it's all yellow. Okay. Applique stops. All right. Now, the other thing that I did is, you know, when I'm stitching this down, 300 stitches per minute is, let me sit on my stool. 300 stitches per minute is pretty fast when you're sitting here with a piece of yarn and it's trying to sew over something that can move and shift and walk around. So I found a little cheat that we're going to do to slow the machine down even more. So I'm going to change that setting. It's under machine preferences, and it's actually on here. It's under machine preferences on my Summit, but if you're using an EMT or the operating system software, it's going to be under your settings, and it's called inching stitch count. What is inching stitch count? So inching stitch count is when your machine starts to sew and it goes slow for like 4 stitches to give the bobbin a chance to tie in and do its knot, and then it starts sewing. Those slow first few stitches is an inching stitch count, and that goes 50 stitches per minute, which sounds ridiculously slow, but it is. But it will let me have more of a response time to stopping if I need to back up and redo a section. Where 300 stitches per minute, that's two and a half stitches per second or something. That's ridiculously fast for this type of project. So first thing I'm going to do is I have my inching stitch count at 4, which is what I like as my default, because it takes 4 to 5 stitches to tie a knot. So I like it tying the knot slow. I think default on the machines are like 2 right now. So I do like it a little bit more than that on average. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is stitch the word love at 1,000 stitches per minute, because this doesn't have to go slow. It's just a where to, right? Let's get that done. And then we're going to go in and we're going to change our inching stitch count. So, and I got a glue stick because that's what I have. You know, I don't like the gummy stuff, so I'm going to be cleaning my hook area when I'm done, but I've seen videos where people were using super glue, and I watched a video where somebody was using a spray adhesive. I really like the idea of the spray adhesive. However, I don't have any. And I'm using what I got. And what I got is a whole lot of these. Okay. So I have my love is ready to put my yarn in. Before I put the yarn in and start this, I'm going to slow my machine down. So this is where I'm going to go to that inching stitch count. And if I look at my design, the entire design only has 900 stitches. 890 to be exact. So it doesn't have a high stitch count. So I'm going to go to my inching stitch count, which in the Summit is under Machine Preferences. Under the other software, it's going to be under Settings. And I am going to change it from 4 or 2 or whatever it is to 1,000. I want it to go 1,000 stitches slow. Check mark that. Back to here. Now it's just going to do 50 stitches per minute. So I'm going to put a little bit of the glue to hold my yarn so it doesn't move. Right on my stitch letter and get out a piece of my yarn. Obviously not the right spot. That's why we're doing it together. Okay. And I might just have to forego the paper if it's going to be problematic. Let's see. That should be plenty. Okay. I'm just happy to be using some of my stuff. Okay. Now, if you can see, I put my glue there, so I'm just going to stick my yarn down to the glue. And I'm going to kind of follow it around, sticking it down. And I'm holding underneath with my hand so that I don't loosen my garment. All right, that goes up to that corner, Okay. This is going so slow. It's going so nice. I like it. I have time to stop, hit the stop button if I need to, react, move something if I need to. It's going to stop and trim, which is great, and push it out so that I can put the next section. I'm looking at my screen. So the next section goes from the top down halfway around the loop. Okay. So I'll do a little bit of glue here and down over to here. Again, I'm pushing up with my finger underneath. All right. Definitely like it going this 50 stitches. I was tried it at 300, which is the slowest you can actually slow it down to, but it was still so fast that by the time I went, oh, I need to stop it, and I reach over to stop it, it had already gone like 10 stitches past where I was. I might even be able to speed it up now that I'm using the glue, because I wasn't using the glue, and I was using the thinner yarn. I might speed it up. We'll try the next section, see how it goes. But I'd rather go slow and do a good job instead of mess up the shirt, right? Ah, see, it went past. So I need to back up now. Do not perform trim. Go back 10 stitches. Didn't have it curved around quite enough. All right. Towards the back. There we go. That's fine. That looks great. Glue. Stick this down. And there's like a flat side to this yarn, so I'm trying to like lay it flat. I don't know if I need to or not. You know, it is my project. I can do what I want with it, right? All the way to the end of this. So there we go. And I'm definitely going to take this needle out when I'm done because I don't want to have to deal with a gummy needle on my next project. So I will be removing the needle. Okay. Now, I'm going to speed it up. Settings, machine preferences. Let's just do like 10 inching stitch counts. We'll do 10, but I think I got it stuck pretty good this time. So if you're new, hi, welcome. I'm Juliet, and this is Colorful Threads, and we are doing the trendy yarn chenille technique. All right, so the next section is going to be the O. And it is kind of fun to do fun, cool projects like this. Let's see, I'll start the O here. We'll see how this 300 stitches per minute does me. Oh, depends on my glue, right? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. If there's a trendy technique that you would like for me to do a tutorial on, please let me know in the comments. I've been pulling together the supplies and kind of thinking about next week's project already. There is a pretty neat bow thing that's going around. So I'm going to dig through my designs and see what bow I have that I can use. I don't want to have to buy one. I'm going to give that a little fold over. Woohoo! How's my needle? Well, yeah, my needle's gummy. We knew that was going to happen. All right, get this section stuck down. There we go. I like using the yellow thread to match the yellow in the yarn. That was good. Work on this part of the E. Goes up to the corner, right? Up from there to there, yeah. Not trim again. I don't like the knot. The knot that it's tying is leaving the thread in a weird place, or my needle is already gummy and causing me to have it not trim correctly. Because I'm going to have to take the trimmer apart and clean all the gooey stuff out of the trimmer and give my hook a nice wash. Oh yeah, the eye of the needle's already gummed up. That is exactly what it is. So again, so I don't like doing gummy stuff. Sticky stuff, adhesive stuff. And as a technician, I don't like that stuff in my machine. But I'm going to clean it all out when I'm done. Okay, now then, let's see. Do the rest of my E. Who knew on a Sunday I'd be managing yarn? And I'm going to move it a little bit away from there. Open that E up a little bit. There we go. Trying to make sure the opening of my E is open. All right, let's get this done. Yeah. Perfect. Trim off my extra yarn. And trim up this thread. That looks great. Yes, so that's nice. You can see like the stitches here. I did really long stitches, so we'll go back in the software and talk about that a little bit more. If nobody has any questions, then this was really the subject I wanted to cover today, but I wanted to do it live so that you could see the process and the success and the failures depending on the type of yarn you pick. My name is Juliet, and I am Colorful Threads.